Part 3 of Delta cards. This is the video I've been looking forward most to making. If you're used to this channel already, you know I kind of talk about errors a lot on here with sports cards. Errors are kind of my bread and butter. I love to talk about them. I love to research them. And this is the Delta error and variations video. We're going to see if there's any errors in the Delta card set. Well, good news, we found some. So cards number 1 through 78 were released over 7 different releases or 7 years, starting in 2003. But does that mean that there's 78 total cards? Well, no. And it can be a little bit complicated. I believe that Delta meant well by putting out these cards, putting out one card per number. But things happen. We are here to research that and pick up the pieces and see what we can find with some errors today. Let's get started. Guys, if you haven't already checked out my buddy Darren at Grunt Baseball, that's his YouTube channel for all things baseball, quick clips. Things are heating up as we're getting closer to the playoffs. Also, his website is grunttalksmlb.com. And if you're not already a subscriber to my channel, go hit that subscribe button. Do it right now while you're thinking about it. It helps me out and I appreciate it. Okay, let's get back into this. So first I want to mention print flaws. I actually put that question out there to other Delta card collectors and I got some print flaw examples sent to me. Thank you guys. So there's a few flaws that are common with Delta cards. So first I want to talk about color variations. Okay, so when you have two cards and they're a slightly different color, they're the same card, but a slightly different color, and maybe the sky looks more blue and looks more gray on the other, you get a phenomenon called color variations. So think about when you have a printer at home and you print off like 100 flyers for something. You'll notice that near the end of your print run, your colors may not be as bold. They may not look exactly the same as when they first started, especially when that printer cartridge gets low on ink. Well, the same thing with manufacturers that are putting out cards. You don't say that, oh, the last 10 of them that were printed are errors just because they're slightly lighter or duller. No, those are just print variations and don't really add any extra value, and they're not really considered errors, but they're still kind of cool. So centering. Okay, so when you get a card that's like really horribly centered, top to bottom, left to right, you may get excited. You may think you have a card that is valuable. Whether it's Delta cards or sports cards, yeah, they can add value to like a niche market. If you get one that's wildly off-centered, some may think, oh, I'm going to give you some money for that card. So that may be the case. With sports cards, when you get cards that are poorly centered, it can actually detract from the value. So if you got a wild-looking centering card, throw in a top loader. It's a cool card to have nonetheless, no matter how much it's worth. And another example that was sent to me is wrong backs. So like it sounds, it's where a card has the wrong information on the back of it. The back of the card belongs to a different card. So these Delta cards will be like the wrong plane altogether. Or maybe the back can be inverted, can be upside down. Again, not really considered an error, considered a print flaw. But man, those are cool. I mean, if you come across them, definitely throw it in a top loader as well. That could probably fetch some money. So the final thing I want to mention is the phrasing on the back of the cards. On the back where it states the airliner's speed, we see different ways that it denotes miles per hour. It might say MI, or it might say MI/H, or it might do the traditional MPH. While I find that interesting, they're not really considered errors because each card is consistent. For instance, every card number 59 says the speed as MI/H. Likewise, most cards have the speed in miles and then kilometers next to it in parentheses. However, some cards, for instance, number 68, simply omits the kilometers data. I'm not sure why. Delta just forgot to put the kilometers in parentheses for that specific card. So, not an error, not any extra value. Okay, we got that out of the way. Let's get to the fun part and go down the list of actual errors and variations. And yes, there are a few of them. In 2010, their third release, Delta made 2 card number 23s. It's the Boeing 757. The backs are the same. The only difference is the front picture. The photo with one plane is considered card number 23, while the second picture has 2 planes in the picture is considered 23V. That's the designation given to that variation. Has 2 planes in the picture is strange. I don't know why they made two different variations. One of them is not considered an error because there's no wrong data. There's no error actually made on the card, just two different variations. So the last card in the 2010 series, card number 30, is the McDonnell Douglas DC-9, but the card incorrectly states that it is a Boeing manufacturer. It was never corrected, thus designated as a UER, which means uncorrected error. Cool error, but once again, no extra value. If you got the card, you got the error. So just a quick side note, Boeing actually manufactured McDonnell Douglas jets. However, they never actually manufactured the DC-9. That's why that one's considered an error. So card number 42, the 747, was never issued. I'm not sure why. The plane had still about a year left in service at the time that those cards were released, but the cards were never distributed to pilots. These cards are available for big bucks on eBay, even though they never actually were exchanged to pilots to passengers. These cards were sold at a Delta warehouse sale and can be occasionally found on eBay. A warehouse sale? No one called me. At the end of the 2016 series, Delta really struggled with card number 51. Buckle in for this one. There are 5 different variations. The first variation is the Boeing 767. It was just designated as card number 51. The second number 51 was the Bombardier CS100, designated by collectors as the 51CS. It was never officially released, but like card number 42, it was actually surfacing at the Delta warehouse sale as well. After printing these cards, Delta chose not to purchase the Bombardier CS100s, and the card was never issued. It is one of the most difficult cards to find. Delta decided to go with the Airbus A220, and because of that, the 51CS card is also an uncorrected error because it's labeled CS100 on the card. So the card is showing an A220, but labeled as a CS100. So cool. The 51CS is a variation as well as an uncorrected error. That is so cool. My nerd hairs are tingling. The third card is commonly known as the 51 Vertical or 51V. Delta made this card 3 years later with the image of the A220. Delta didn't stop there and reissued the card again a 4th time, but this time with the A220 horizontal designated as the 51H. Then that same year, Delta printed the 51 card a 5th time. This one is designated as the 51H100. Almost the same as the 51H, except labeled A220-100 instead of just A220 on the front and the back. Wow, a train wreck! Getting all 5 of those variations can really set you back. You'll have to sell one of your kidneys or sell one of your buddy's kidneys to pay for those. Card number 53 has some controversy that we're going to try to put to rest today. Remember I was talking about how cards can have varying shades of color? Well, this Boeing 737 card will show up on eBay as the gold variant. Sometimes they'll say like 1 of 1. The seller will claim it's rare and list it for thousands of dollars. I think there's a few of them listed right now as we speak. Don't fall for it. The claim is false. There's no such thing as a gold variant. Okay, let's move on here. The next card is definitely not an error, but one I have to mention. We're going to list this card under trivia. Card number 63 is the Team USA card. It's an A350 jet commemorating Delta's partnership with the US Olympic team in Paris. It's the only square card released by Delta. It looks awesome. Cool, but it can't be considered rare. It definitely doesn't fit in a top loader. This is actually what's called a team bag, where it's just a soft bag, but it does do the job. So if you need to store your Team USA card, find yourself a team bag. And finally, the last card I wanted to mention at the time of this video anyway, card number 78 showing an A321 on a 100-year anniversary card. But it's not the A321, it's actually the A320. Honest mistake of a jet that is similar, but the error was also uncorrected. So if you got this card, you got the error, which also means no extra value. So that's it. I'm sure we'll find more errors and variations as more cards are released. Did I miss any? Leave some comments down below if you know of any. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Check it. Peep Delta. We be flying all over this bitch.